Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Enter, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, a different kind of tier list than you're probably used to. Today we're going to be ranking every Smite God's ultimate based on its real-world applications. So how OP would this ultimate be if it was straight up ported to the real world? That's essentially what we're doing here. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe for all my other videos coming soon, and let's just jump right in. So first up is Achilles. This is probably not super useful in real life, I would imagine. Sure, if someone has already taken like a few gunshot wounds or something, you could execute them when they're below 40% of their total life essence. Other than that, not really super useful. We'll put it in the E tier for now. Agni, not bad, not bad. I think I gave Agni like a C tier. I mean, it's essentially bombs. We already have bombs in the real world. You basically, like, he would be a tank is what Agni would be, just like firing bombs over at people and like some kind of world war. Maybe send him to Ukraine or something like that. I don't know, maybe you'd do some work there. But pretty middle of the road. It's nothing too revolutionary. We already have bombs in the real world. Agni would just be able to use those for free, I suppose. AMC, a giant stinger. It'd be pretty terrifying in real life to actually face up against. However, not really that strong overall. It's just a big bee stinger. Yes, it would cause a lot of damage, but there's plenty of Smite ultimates that will cause a lot of damage, and there's ones that will do a lot more than that. So I think we'll drop AMC in the D tier for now. Apwash. Interesting one. So technically you can summon the spirits of the dead, which is definitely something we cannot do in the real world. It's not like he can commune with them though, at least not in his Smite Ultimates depiction. He just kind of summons them back and they do damage to people. Pretty decent. I think I'll put this in the B tier just because it does something that you can't really normally do in the real world, so I think that's pretty relevant. Amaterasu, it's just a fancy sword technique that stuns people. Obviously F tier. This is just a very basic, like, you know, old style warrior technique. Anher throws a lot of spears with great force, would do significant damage to people, but honestly, is it anything crazy? Not really. E tier. Anubis, big energy laser beam. We do have big energy laser beams in the real world, so unfortunately Anubis wouldn't actually be that strong in real life. However, it's probably a similar case to Agni. Like, this would definitely be great for war applications, you know, just being able to straight up laser people like your Homelander in real life. Homelander's pretty powerful in the boys. I imagine Anubis would be pretty powerful in real life as well. Ao Kuang. So, an execute similar to Achilles, not super useful overall, but he can turn into a dragon. Do we have dragons in real life? Absolutely not. So, being able to do that does bump him up a tier or so. Also, the ability to, like, fly and jump down, that's a significant movement, like teleportation and stuff, which we'll get into in a bit. I think I'll put Ao Kuang in the D tier for now. Aphrodite goes straight to the S tier, though. Being able to make anyone completely invulnerable to literally anything, even if it's only for a few seconds, will be infinitely useful in real life. Like, imagine the president of the United States just has his pocket Aphrodite, like Joe Biden's just walking around, he almost falls down the steps to Air Force One, Afro ult immediately, like he's just completely safe and no harm done. Some Russian diplomat that's about to get assassinated by Vladimir Putin again, because they like doing that, Aphrodite, boom, just nah, you're not getting assassinated, bro. You got your pocket Aphrodite. Obvious S tier, would be insanely powerful in real life. Apollo, so basically he has his own private jet. Like, we do have flight in the world. Obviously, it's a more magical kind of flight, but you would run out of mana at some point. If we're going based on how long you can use it in game, even with like a max mana build, it's not gonna get you very far. You might be able to fly like a 50 to 100 miles, and then at that point you're coming straight back down. However, he does have his own private jet. I think that's on a similar level to Anubis and Agni, as in, like, we have a real world equivalent, but it would still be pretty cool. Arachne. Similar to AMC, I guess. It would be terrifying in real life to see a giant spider walking on the ceiling, generating webs as she walks. It would be terrifying. But is it really that useful in real life? Not particularly. Ares, probably E tier. Then again, it technically can teleport, but that would require Ares to teleport, because, like, you could do the stuff where, like, you back and then get Ares ulted and then it pulls you all the way. Like, you would require some other form of teleportation for Ares to then pull you back. It's not super amazing. I think we'll throw Ares in the D tier. Then again, being able to just, like, Ares walk into a building, press 4, pull everyone out, could be useful for, like, anti-terrorist applications, maybe. We'll put it in C tier. It has no real-world equivalents, but I think it wouldn't be actually that good in real life to have an Ares ult. Amaterasu. That's not Amaterasu, that's Artemis. I just woke up about an hour ago. Artemis, being able to summon the Caledonian Boar. Technically, that's infinite food, right? On a long cooldown, though. How far do we want to go with this? Do we want to say that that's infinite food? Solve world hunger, goes up to S tier. Probably not. I think we probably assume it's the same bar every time getting resurrected or something, right? And then in terms of just general applications of it, she just summons a wild animal that attacks people. We have wild animals in the real world. It's not really that good. Artio. She can turn into a bear. That's pretty useful. Being able to transform into a bear, I think, would be pretty good in real life. I think we'll drop her in the B tier. Athena. This is an interesting one. So, Athena can technically ult to anyone, no matter where they are, as long as you have vision of them. How would vision work in real life? Fuck knows. But I think I'm going to throw this to, like, A tier because it's teleportation. Teleportation, there's going to be a lot of these in this list. It's just going to be insanely powerful in real life. I think we would have to assume that Athena could just teleport to literally anyone on the planet at any point, and that is obviously incredibly powerful. Atlas, straight to the S tier. Not only is this like similar to Agni and Anubis in that it will be like a very powerful war weapon, but he literally generates gamma rays. Gamma rays come off of like black holes and neutron stars, and they're like the most damaging kind of radiation on the planet. I have a full Smite science video on Atlas ult and how devastating it would actually be. The answer is pretty fucking devastating. Atlas ult as a military weapon would be basically on par with nukes, pretty much. A Wheelix. Not super useful. Depends on how you look at it. Maybe you could like pull planes out of the sky. That could be kind of funny. You know, maybe if you're pulling someone with the plane, it depends how much pull strength it has. You know, if you're pulling the person, do they just like make a hole in the plane, come out of the plane, or you drag the whole plane down to the ground? It's an interesting conundrum. But other than that, a Wheelix ult wouldn't be like super powerful, I don't think. Baba Yaga, she gets in a house, fires like some firebolts. Probably has like some war applications, I guess, but I think we'll throw her in the D tier. Bacchus, this is basically just me on a Friday night. So I think we'll probably drop him in E tier. Bakasura, again, pretty terrifying. He is vomiting up like other human beings that he's eaten, and they're attacking you. Pretty terrifying, but obviously not like uber useful in the real world. I think we'll drop him in a similar tier to Arachne and AMC. Baron. Not really super good either. I mean, he's just going to be pulling you into a coffin. Maybe you could somehow generate some kind of energy from that pull force using like wheels or something like that. Could be decent, so we'll throw him in the E tier for that reason. Bake Kujira. Okay, so I think Bake goes to A tier because being able to slow down time is going to be very useful. Obviously, that is not something we can do in real life unless we're literally trying to reach relativistic speeds and go almost the speed of light. And Bake Kujira's is completely local. You just slow down time for anyone you want. If you want to extend your life, you could just stand in a Bake ult forever. Very interesting applications. I think that would be a very useful one to have in real life. Bastet throws a big cat and it bites you and pulls you to her. Not really that useful, honestly. Bellona just literally jumps and plants a flag, and that's all. F tier. Kabrakan can create like walls out of thin air. Could be somewhat useful. Sadly, he is the destroyer of mountains in his lore, but his ultimate doesn't really depict that. If it did, then he would be a lot higher if he could literally just destroy mountains, like one-shot mountains, just delete Everest from the planet. Could be pretty cool. But honestly, his base ultimate, it just creates some walls. I think we'll throw him in the D tier. Kamazots, again, another one that will be actually terrifying. This giant flying bat swooping down on you, but it just does some damage. It's not really going to be that useful. Cerberus, probably in a similar place to Ares. Maybe down one tier because you can't do funny teleportation shenanigans with Cerberus ult. Cernanos, being able to polymorph your friends into like random balls and sheep and stuff would be quite funny. That is something we can't do in real life. We haven't quite yet mastered the idea of transforming ourselves into animals, so I think we'll throw him maybe in the C tier. It's definitely not something we can do in the real world. I'm sure there'll be some kind of applications for turning people into animals for a brief time. Chuck, being able to summon a thunderstorm on command definitely could be useful. We'll throw him in the C tier. Changa just does damage and stuns people. Not really that great. Charon, though. Charon is an interesting one. Being able to summon a giant wave, and technically it is global, which on the real planet would mean that it literally just circles the Earth indefinitely. Do we want to take it as that, or do we want to say it would act like a normal wave where it like slowly loses power as it like breaks on the shore or something? Still, would be able to create tsunamis, would be great as a military weapon. As you can see, I'm very much interested in the military applications of the Smite gods. Biden has me on this one. I'm on the research team for it. We're doing some secret tests. And I think Charon will be quite useful for those. Being able to create tsunamis from basically anywhere will be very useful. Charybdis, absolute trash in Smite, probably absolute trash in real life as well. Yeah, it would hurt you getting chomped by this massive monster, but I've got to assume that people will be able to step like 2 steps to the side and avoid it like they do in Smite, so yeah, probably not very useful. Chernobog. This has to go in the same tier as Athena, right? Obviously, you have to designate who you're teleporting to as your enemy, but other than that, it's still global teleportation. This will be incredibly useful in real life. Chiron just fires some bow shots, got pretty good range, but like who really cares? Intercontinental ballistic missiles have good range as well, and they do a lot more damage than Chiron, so we'll put him down in the E tier. Kronos, I think Kronos has to go to the S tier, dude. We talked about Baka Kajira being able to slow down time. Being able to rewind time is even more powerful. It only rewinds it specifically for Kronos, so you won't be able to rewind like, you know, global catastrophes or anything like that. You won't be able to rewind 9/11. You won't be able to rewind Krakatoa's eruption or anything like that. But still, being able to rewind time for yourself. Obviously, it has a cooldown, so technically you would only be able to go back like however long it is, 8 seconds every 90 seconds or whatever. Obviously, you're building max cooldown in your real-life Kronos build, but still, it would be incredibly useful to be able to just rewind 8 seconds. You know, if you make some kind of mistake in real life, you just rewind it. If you like fall off of a cliff while you're climbing Mount Everest, just rewind it. Probably one of the upper S tiers, honestly. Kalina, she tears the veil, which like opens some kind of portal to the spirit world, I believe is how this actually works, which is similar to like Apwash in terms of being able to interact with dead people in a certain way. So I think we'll throw her in the B tier. Cthulhu. So this one could go as deep as you want it to go, basically. Obviously, if Cthulhu existed in real life, the whole world is fucked. But still, his Smite depiction wouldn't actually be that useful. He just goes gigantic and ethereal and like fires down bombs on you and stuff. Would be sort of like an Origins Death Robot style situation. Would be very useful, or like a Civ 6 Death Robot. Would be very useful for military applications, so I think this is minimum C tier. But this could go higher if you want to like bring in the aspects of like, oh, Cthulhu's this interdimensional being. If Cthulhu was actually ulting in real life, he'd be like warping reality and stuff like that. It depends how deep you want to go. So I think I'll bump him up 1 tier for that. We'll put him in the B tier. Kukulkan, big spear swing that knocks people up. Not very useful. Cupid, maybe he could spread the love with his ultimate, I suppose. Depends on how you look at it. You know, would Cupid be able to ult 2 people in his fields of love and they instantly fall in love? If that's the case, it's very useful. That being able to manipulate people's minds like that would be quite good to have in real life, I think. But that's not really what it does in Smite. It just mesmerizes you. It doesn't make you fall in love with the person. So I think we'll probably just put Cupid in the D tier for now. Daji, S tier for BDSM enthusiasts. Probably D tier for anyone else. Danzaburo, we have rockets. Being able to turn into a rocket is pretty hilarious, but we have rockets. We don't need more. Discordia, as much as I would love to see people spam taunting in real life when they get hit by this, I don't think it would actually be that good. It just does some damage, makes people kind of go mad for a little bit. Making people go mad for a few seconds, is that useful? Potentially. We'll give it a C tier for that reason. Erlang Shen literally just holds people to attack him and heals him. I mean, it depends how far you want to go. Again, there's very much interpretation within this list. Any form of healing would potentially be incredibly powerful in real life, just being able to instantly heal yourself. So maybe we'll bump it up to E tier for that reason, I suppose. E-Set. Another one that can heal. I think we'll put this one a little bit higher, though, because being able to, like, mass heal a bunch of people in a giant radius, you know, you put this on a hospital, and then as long as there's nobody designated an enemy in there, otherwise it's gonna cause a problem. Make sure all the patients are your allies before you do this, but you pop this on a hospital, you can heal everyone up. Would be pretty useful, I think. Fafnir turns into a giant dragon. We don't have dragons. Dragons are pretty cool. I think we'll put them in the same tier as Alquang. Fenrir, giant wolf, also pretty cool, but would it really be anything groundbreaking in real life? Probably not. I think we'll throw it in the D tier as well. Freya, ability to fly and fire magical blasts. Again, kind of cool, but would it really be that good? No. Ganesha, similar thing. Geb, rips apart the earth, kind of interesting, but other than that, it's just like damage and a stun, probably won't be too useful. The Winds of Shamash. So being able to create your own like windstorm locally, potentially go for power generation reasons. You could put like wind turbines in there. Gilgamesh ults like a giant wind farm. You potentially generate a lot of electricity that way. Probably could cause some destruction as well in terms of military applications. I think we'll throw Gilga into C tier. Similar to Chak. Chak can generate his own thunderstorm. Gilgamesh can generate his own windstorm. Probably will both be quite useful. Guan Yu, he rides on a horse and slashes at people. No one cares about that. Hachiman, he rides on a horse and fires a bow at people. No one cares about that. Hades sucks people in, I suppose, but in real life, if you could jump, you could probably just jump out of it. We'll throw it in the E tier. Hebo, so not as good as Charon, obviously, but he can create a wave which could cause substantial destruction, so I think we'll throw him in the C, similar to like Agni and Anubis and stuff. Would be quite useful for military applications, but not like anything insane. Heimdall. You can send someone through the 3 realms. Is that useful? I mean, you could argue this would be an insta-kill on any human that it was used on, because, like, the temperature change when your body goes from Muspelheim to Niflheim is probably gonna, like, immediately kill you. You probably won't be able to handle it with the human body. Would be quite good. I think also because it's a bit, like, interdimensional, probably would be quite good. Hell, as much as it would be cool to have her as, like, the world's healer, the world's Jesus, her ultimate actually doesn't really do anything for us, so we'll throw it in the F tier. Argus. We can create robots in real life. Not ones on the level of Argus, I won't say, though, so maybe we'll put her in C. Similar to Agni and Anubis. Like, we can do this in real life, but having Hera's all available to you would be quite useful. Hercules. Big Boulder. It's okay, we'll put it in the D tier. Horus, straight to S tier. Teleportation, incredibly powerful. And the difference here between Athena and Chernobog is that they only can teleport themselves. Horus can literally teleport as many people as he can fit in that circle. So basically, Horus Airlines is here, boys. Horus Airlines is here. Hu Yi. This is an interesting one. So I do have a Smite Science episode on Hu Yi as well. The long and short of it is, when he's calling down those suns, no matter the scenario, if it's a normal sun compressed down to that size, it becomes a black hole, and that's going to destroy everything. And even if it's just a sun of that size, it's going to cause absolute untold destruction. So I think Hui has to go up to the A tier. If you had this guy being able to shoot down suns onto the Earth, basically it's nukes times 2. It will be incredibly powerful. Hunbats. Fearing people away from a totem, not really super great. Ishtar, similar, don't really care. Ishel, substantial healing for multiple people. Could be quite good in, like, healing applications. Where did I put Iset? Yeah, we'll put Ishel in the same tier as Iset, I think. Izanami, no one really cares. Janus obviously has to go at least to A tier, I think. It's not quite on the level of some of the ones in S tier, I don't think. Especially because there is technically a range limit to Janus's portals. He wouldn't be able to use his portals, and then it literally just circles the entire world creating portals on walls. That wouldn't happen. There is a range limit. But still, being able to literally transport yourself through walls, that is not something we can do in real life and would be incredibly useful. Jingwei, no one cares. Jormungandr, probably a similar case to, like, Fenrir, though maybe a little bit better because he can cause an absolute massive amount of havoc when he's just flying around in, like, a battlefield or whatever, so we'll throw him in C tier for that. Kali, we'll probably throw to A tier, I think. This is kind of like Afroal, but you can't do it to someone else, it's only for yourself. However, being completely immune to death for, I think it's 5 seconds, would be incredibly useful in real life. All the same applications that Aphrodite or Kronos will be useful for. You can essentially just never die if you have this up. Kepri, straight to the S tier for obvious reasons. This is very similar to Aphrodite. If someone's about to die, like, literally if someone's, like, you're starting to hear their death rattle and they're starting to shit themselves on the hospital bed, you just Kepriel and they're straight back, dude. They're straight back. Would be incredibly useful. Absolutely. Essentially gives you immortality as well, unless you die within 90 seconds of Kepri ulting you before. But, you know, it depends on the specifics of that, but could give you immortality. Pretty S tier, in my opinion. King Arthur, as sad as it is pretty garbage. Being able to lift someone up into the air like that and slam them down would absolutely hurt, but it's single target. No one really cares. And the 4A is just like whatever. It's just a lion stun. Kukulkan can summon a dragon. Pretty cool. We don't have those in the real world. Would do a lot of damage. Probably decent-ish as a military weapon, but probably not better than ICBM. So I think we'll just throw it in the D tier for now. Kubakana, again, probably would do significant damage if you fell from that kind of height. Could be potentially useful for some kind of, like, vertical transportation system. If you get, like, Aphrodite ulted at the same time so you don't take damage from it, you go flying up, maybe board like a flying plane or something like that. Could be funny. We'll throw him in the D tier. Kuzumbo, wouldn't really do a whole lot. It's just, I guess you could put some clothes in him, get like a nice power wash, but other than that, not really too useful. Lance literally just rides a horse. No one cares about that. Loki, slight teleportation, not a huge amount of range, but still, teleportation is not something we can do, so I think that gives him at least a D tier, in my opinion. Mount Brigitte, big energy ball that's essentially a bomb. We'll throw her in D tier. Matikarus, being able to fly is quite cool. He essentially turns into like an AC-130. We all know the meme. So I think he has to go at least to D tier for that reason, similar to a lot of these other ones that are here. Maybe, yeah, it's similar to Agni. Like, he would be very useful in military applications. It's essentially an AC-130 for free. Maui. Technically can rip parts of the earth out of each other and create artificial lakes, kind of. Would be quite interesting to use. I think we'll throw up to C tier. Medusa, very interesting one. It depends how this would work in real life. Like, do you turn to stone if you see a, like, video or depiction of Medusa without her mask on? If that's true, then you could use this for some kind of world domination plot. You essentially hijack all of the TV broadcasts in the world and broadcast an image of Medusa without her mask on. You make sure you don't watch that. Everyone else gets petrified. You have the whole world to yourself. So that could be pretty cool. I don't know how it actually works in the lore. I imagine probably depictions of her don't turn you to stone, though. So I think we'll throw a D tier for that reason. If we could confirm that depictions of Medusa can do that, then she probably goes like to A tier, because you could do some definite world domination with that. Mercury, another one I have a Smite Science episode on. I can't remember the actual speed that he travels at in his ult. In fact, let me look that up. Okay, the thumbnail says 48 times faster than Usain Bolt. So, I don't know what that would be. It would mean he could run a 100-meter dash in 0.2 seconds. Probably would be very useful in terms of, like, message delivery services. I imagine he could run around the world in no time, basically. So I think we'll have to throw Mercury to, like, at least a B tier. Merlin, he literally just changes stances and does a little energy blast. Wouldn't be super powerful. Morgan Le Fay, yeah, similar, just some energy blast. No one really cares. Mulan, cool technique. Commendable, but shit. Naja, being able to banish someone into the air for an amount of time could be quite useful. While they're up there, you could like drop a nuke on them or something, do a little bit of a combo. Yeah, it could be alright. We'll throw it to the D tier. Neath. Neath's an interesting one. Another global. Being able to globally fire a giant arrow that does significant damage at someone. It's got to be kind of useful, right? Like, as long as you have vision on, like, the president, you could just always be targeting him with a Neath ult, ready to go. Maybe have some follow-up from like, your Charon global wave or something. I'm losing my mind here. Yeah, being able to globally target anyone, just fire a giant arrow at them at any point, as long as you have vision. How does vision work in real life? Fuck knows, but I think Neath has to be quite high up for that reason. But we'll throw it to B tier. Nemesis deletes durability on people. How does that even work? No one knows. Let's give it D tier. Nike, being able to get a big shield on yourself is kind of interesting. Technically could protect you from damage. So, like, if you just Nike ulted, like, after you fell off of a giant cliff, you might live. Could be useful. I think we'll throw it to C tier. Nox, big energy blast, reduces damage dealt. Who really cares? We'll throw it to E. Nuts, I think, has to go straight to the S tier based on the definition that she literally fires a black hole. As we mentioned with Hu Yi, depending on your interpretation of Hu Yi ult, a sun compressed down to that size would absolutely be a black hole. But you know, you could also say that it's just a shrunk down sun without it becoming a black hole. Nuts is literally by definition a black hole, and so that would obviously be ridiculous in real life. You could instantly destroy the entire planet and the entire solar system. Probably one of the higher ones up here for different reasons than stuff like Kepriel and Aphrodite ult. Nuwa. Does this go to S tier? It targets every enemy on the map. If you just designate every single human being on the planet as your enemy and keep spamming new ult, eventually everyone's gonna die, dude. Eventually everyone's gonna die. I think that has to be an S tier. You're defo farming top player damage in real life when you're targeting like 7.5 billion people with this 100%. Odin can create a cage. It's not really anything special. Olarun probably goes to the same tier as Bake Gojira. Being able to time dilate would be very useful. Basically the same argument as I made for Bake. Osiris, being able to stop someone healing entirely would be useful, but it is a very short duration, and the human body heals very slowly, so I think stopping someone being able to, like, naturally heal themselves for, like, a few seconds probably wouldn't be that good. It is still something interesting that we don't have in real life, though, so I will throw it to the C tier. Pele, just a dash that does big damage, won't really be anything too special. Persephone, could be useful, could trap people in for quite a while. Technically has infinite range as well, so I think we'll throw it to the D tier. Poseidon, being able to summon a sea monster would be quite useful, but we have sea monsters in real life, not really anything too crazy. Rabeam, definitely you could put like a 12x scope on that and try and like snipe people from far away on the battlefield. Probably we'll put it in C tier, similar to Agni. It would be useful in like military applications, but is it anything too crazy that we don't have in real life? Not really. Which honestly, the amount of times I've said that is kind of crazy how much ridiculous military tech we have in real life that would literally be on par with gods from thousands of years ago. Raijin, you could probably electrocute people, I guess. We'll put him in D tier. Rama, not really super useful. I guess you could snipe in a similar way to Ra. We'll throw him in C for that reason. Ratatoska. Semi-global mobility. It's kind of similar to Mercury, but not quite as insane because you don't go at like the same speed that Mercury would go at. So I think we'll put Rat in C. Raven, he just jumps up and does damage to people. No one cares. Scylla, big damage in a circle. No one cares. Serket will throw in the same tier as Osiris because it does have anti-heal. And also the poison, of course. Set. No one really cares, honestly. Shiva can technically heal people with it, so I guess we'll throw him in, like, a similar tier to E-Set and E-Shell. Skadi, she can create her own Frost Storm. That is kind of, you should probably be in the same tier as Gilgamesh and Chak for that reason. Being able to create your own Snowstorm would be quite useful. Sobek, he literally just becomes a crocodile. No one cares about that. Sol. Okay, so now I've run into a bit of a problem. I said that Nuts creates a black hole because that's the name of the ability. Sol's ability name is technically Supernova, in which case it should go straight to the S tier, because if she's creating 8 supernovas, the entire world is absolutely fucked. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stick with my logic. Let's throw a Sol straight to the S tier. Wukong, being able to like banish yourself and heal would be kind of useful sometimes. Also creates a clone of you. Creating a clone would also be quite useful. We don't have cloning technology quite down yet for humans. We have Dolly the sheep, but not for I don't know. Have we cloned monkeys? Probably not, right? They're probably too complex. Yeah, being able to clone yourself, being able to heal, being able to banish yourself from harm. I think there's a lot of useful aspects to this that kind of all add up to like a C tier placement. Surtur. Fly up into the sky, come down, summon imps. It's okay, we'll put it in D. Susano. Ability name is Typhoon. Typhoon's pretty powerful. I think we'll throw him at least C tier. Sylvanas knocks people up, gives them like roots. No one really cares. Terra. So when this used to be global, before they reworked Terra, that would have probably been a straight S tier, because being able to globally heal everyone would be incredibly powerful. Unfortunately, it's now a local heal, which puts it on a similar level to E-Settle, in my opinion. Thanatos would be terrifying. The Grim Reaper is literally coming for you. However, we've kind of already established that Executes won't actually be that useful in real life. If someone's already lost 60% of their life essence, they're probably dying real soon anyway. So we'll throw Thanatos. Actually, he can fly, though. He can fly. Yeah, we'll bump him up a few tiers just because he can fly. That's pretty cool. The Morrigan. You can transform into literally any person for about 10 seconds. That's got to be useful, right? You just combine it with like a Mercury or something. Mercury just runs into the Oval Office, pulls out Biden, and then I go in as Morrigan and I transform into Biden. I get 10 seconds to run the country. I could launch the nukes, dude. I could absolutely launch the nukes. I think being able to transform into literally any person on the entire planet has to be an S tier ultimate, in my opinion. Thor, it's okay. I'll put it in the same tier as Thanatos for very similar reasons. Thoth, big magical blast, same tier as Ra, I think. Tiamat has a few different ones. How are we going to rank this? Her grounded stance one is whatever. And then all of her summons, being able to summon that kind of stuff, like portals to a different world, summon like beings out of it. Is this pretty cool? I think we'll throw it to like C. Tsukuyomi, D, maybe C. Yeah, we'll throw him in C. He can, like, semi-teleport with this, which is kind of cool. Tia, it's just a big leap. Not really anything too crazy. Ula's ult literally does nothing. Anyone can literally pull out a bow or an axe. This is probably, like, the lowest of the D tiers. Vamana, giant baby, would be terrifying. Kind of similar Origins Death Robot vibes to, like, Cthulhu, but the Cthulhu bumps up a tier because he's potentially got that, like, extra planar shenanigans going on. We'll put Vamana in the C tier. I think it'd be a useful, like, super soldier for World War III. Vulcan, we basically have this in real life. It won't be super useful, but we put a lot of the other ones that are like that in C tier, so we'll put them in C as well. Shibalanke, global blind on literally every human in existence for 3 seconds. That's gotta be good, right? Probably not quite on the level of these S tier ultimates that would literally either like make you invulnerable or end the world or turn back time or transform into anyone you want. So we'll throw it in the A tier. But yeah, being able to literally globally blind every single person for 3 seconds, that has to be good, right? Jingchen, the washing machine, it's whatever. We'll put it in D tier. Yemoja. So this one has a few questions. Is she creating the walls of water out of thin air? In which case it's straight to S tier because you can create water out of nothing. Or is she like just pulling the water up from like the earth and using it to create walls of water? In which case it's still very good, but it's not like as insane as you'd think. I don't know. Depends on your definition. I think we'll throw it to A tier because I think if she was pulling the water up out of the earth and she's not actually generating water, it's probably B tier. And if she is generating infinite water, then it's obviously S tier. So we'll throw her in the A tier as like a compromise. Let me know down below. What do you think Yemoja would be? Would she be creating the water or would she be pulling it out of the earth? Ymir, big damage. makes things cold. We'll probably throw it in like the C tier. Yu Huang creates some dragons, does some damage. We'll throw it C as well. Zeus creates his own lightning storm. I think that has to go in the C tier along with like Chak and Gilgamesh and Skadi and all those weather effects. And finally, Zhonghui. Demons don't exist in the real world. Would he be even able to stack his demon bag? I don't know. Probably would just be like decent. We'll throw it in like D tier. And there you go, boys. A bit of a silly video. Honestly, the middle of this tier list literally doesn't matter whatsoever. It's just the bottom ones that are basically just real world normal skills. And then the top ones that are like complete immunity. For you and an ally, gamma ray bursts that will destroy the entire planet, turn back time, teleportation for as many people as you want, literally being able to revive people on death, black holes would instantly destroy the world, global damage on 7.3 billion people would eventually kill the entire population if you used it right. Supernova would destroy the world entirely. 8 supernovas, definitely going to do that. And then being able to transform into any person on the planet. Pretty good. Let me know down below, would you have changed any of these? Would you have looked at them differently? And I will catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.